Hello and welcome back to my channel. Continue here with my Walking Dead solo session. Um, we left our haven because our father left and he didn't come back since 5 days, now 6 days ago. So we are running out of food, so we decide to move. So now I need to actually reduce the amount of food that I have. I only have two. Okay, yeah, we moved. We find a lot of walkers during our way. We saw a tank. We have found a church here, but nothing special there. Actually, Brandon had to fight with a walker, and he succeeded in it. And once they reached this hex, or actually square, he found that the best approach was to find a safe place in the underground, because there were these hole in the ground, and he were able to sleep there with his sister. So as he slept the whole night, I would remove all stress from his character sheet. And yeah, so now it's morning. Let's roll the weather again. So session weather roll 4, and 4 says warmer than usual. So it's not raining anymore. So let me just remove these and save. Okay. I just roll. Okay, we are in the underground. I'm not sure if we are able to move through these underground. I assume that it is dark. So what I think that is Brandon would just try to go back to the surface and see if the walkers are still there. I don't need to roll, I think. I would just ask the Oracle if the are the walkers still there, and lucky roll, and the answer is no. Okay, so as the answer is no, I could say that the threat level is now 1 or even 0, because there are no walkers. So I will for now not decide this, because if I mess up a row or something, I could just bring the walkers back. So what I think is that Brandon, he just sees that, okay, there is no walkers. So he calls his sister and he just moves as usual, sneakily. But one thing that I am not doing is basically searching for things that could be useful. And we still have rations for 2 more days. So maybe this is not the best place, but I'm going to roll ruins, the ruins table, just to see if we find something else interesting in this square. So let me roll for it, and there is a overturned school bus that blocks the way. So I think that first I need to roll an encounter, and as this is a square that I already visited, I'm still here, I can just roll 1d6, and if it is a 6, I have an encounter. And it's a 4. Okay, no encounter. Great. So I think that Brandon just moves, and then he sees this school bus overturned, blocking his way. So he needs to climb this bus. So let's just roll. What can be rolled? Is it really necessary to roll something? I would say maybe mobility, just to see if he's able to climb it. And he's not able to climb it. So I'm going to push the roll. And now I have 2 successes. And this is great because I would roll a second time just to bring his sister, but it's not necessary because he has two successes, meaning that he was able to do this for him and for her as well. For some reason, the stress is not marked here, so I will just mark manually, and I hope it doesn't mess up with my automation here. So he's able to climb the school bus, and maybe on his way he tries to find something useful. So I'm going to roll survival, and it's a good opportunity to see if I'm going to have just one stress or two now, just to see if he finds something. Okay, he has a one success. So I'm going to roll the scavenge table, and let's see what he finds. Clean towels. Okay, he finds clean towels somewhere during this movement, and I think he's going south. Um, so he keeps going south. So now he goes to G7, and yeah, we can see some roads here. So maybe we have highways, and maybe there are not so many constructions here. Maybe the threat level is not so high. So let's roll as I move to another new square. I'm going to roll to see if we have an encounter, and we do have an encounter. I need to roll the encounter type, and Walker Swarm. Okay, and roll a die to determine the swarm size. Swarm size. We do have the random threat level. That's different, but it says 2, so it's about 11 to 20. So yeah, Brandon sees these. That actually I need to see if he sees it or not. So let me try to roll scout for him. Yes, he sees it. Great. And actually, yeah, I'm mixing up stuff actually. The swarm size is one thing, the threat level is another thing. So I have been mixing these two things together, but the number of walkers, now I have the swarm size, and it is, I could just roll actually a d6 to see it. So let me roll a d6, and it's 3. Okay, 3 means that we have about 21 to 50 walkers. And the threat level 2 actually means that there are walkers close by, but they are not aware of you yet. The GM can draw a map of the area and point out where the walkers are located exactly. Okay, so threat level 2 means that they are not aware of me, but they are close by. So if they are close by, I would need to move stealthily to avoid them. So, and this is what I'm going to do right now. So Brandon sees this huge amount of walkers in the road, maybe in the highway, I'm not sure, but they are close. So maybe there were this big truck in the middle of the highway, and as he moves, he has been walking for a few hours and without any problem. But as soon as he turns in this truck, or lorry, he sees these walkers, and he just gets down as soon as he can. And yes, let's roll a stealth. Oh, great, 2 successes. So he's able to move through these walkers, hiding through the cars, and without being noticed by these walkers. But definitely this is not a place that he should stay, so he just decides to move on to another X. So let's just move here now to this square. And as usual, we need to roll 2d6 to see if we have an encounter. And we don't. But I'm going to roll in the ruins table just to see what we have here. So I'm going to roll here, and the main street of a quaint small town. The entrance is heavily barricaded in spikes and walker traps. Turn around and leave is scrawled in a red paint across the crosswalk. Okay, this is great. This is great. Although we see this warning that shows that people here are not friendly, but we at least found someone or some people, if they are still alive. Of course, we do not know. So we have the city, and what I think that Brandon would stop in front of this gate. As it said, the entrance is heavily barricaded in spikes and walker traps. Brandon would just yell to see if someone shows up. And what I think that I'm going to do is first, I'm going to ask the Oracle, to see if does anyone answer Brandon's call. Let me roll. And the answer is yes. Great. So let me roll NPC here. Let me roll an NPC encounter. And we have Joey Charles. And it says that he's expert in endurance, trained in force and close combat issues. He's shy, out to get revenge for his dead daughter. Okay, secret issue, easily falls in love with people who treat him well. Okay, and he has a sledgehammer, 6 rations, pickup truck low on gasoline. Okay, so what I see is Joey lost his daughter, and I will not role play here to stuff, but what I think is that Brandon tries to convince Joey that he's not a threat, and he and his little sister are just looking for their father and shelter. They need food. This is what they need. And I think the argument here is not so much important, but I think that Joey, as soon as he sees that this little girl in need, this is something that can give Brandon a bonus here. So I'm going to roll manipulation with +1. Let's see. And I have success. +1 because of the situation. Of course, Brandon does not know about the lost child of Joey, but this is something that helps him, and he succeeds. Great. So after some conversation, Joey allows Brandon to join him to enter this small town. I'm not sure if Joey is alone here or if he has more people with him. So I'm going to ask the Oracle, is Joey living alone here? And let's see. And the answer is extremely no. So we do have actually a haven here. Yeah, we have some information about the haven, and we have the capacity, and depending on the number of inhabitants that we have in this place. But let's see what could be. If I roll a d6 and I have a 3, okay, so I would say it's a small town, but they have like a small farm there, although it's not a farm, but they have a farm there. So they are about 50 people, I think. So about 50 people in this haven. And this haven is in a small town. I would say maybe similar to, I think it's Alexandria in the TV series, if I'm not wrong. But I'm going to roll some issues to this haven just to know what's happening here. No proper way to cook food. Okay, maybe they do not have electricity, or maybe they are out of wood or something to make fire, or yeah, maybe the proper way, yeah, they do not have gas, any kind of way of using a proper kitchen, so they are just using fire to prepare their foods. Maybe this is one issue. They might have other issues as well, but I think this is the first issue that Brandon and Anne see in this place. Um, so yeah, so I think this is good. Joey just allowed them to come in to this haven, to this place. I would say, let me roll maybe a reaction. I think there is a reaction. Um, yeah, reaction table, just to see how people sees it, because Joey was convinced to allow them to join, but as we saw in the message outside, these people were not inviting anyone to join him. So maybe they are not so friendly to these two kids. So let's see. Friendly or in need of help. Okay, so I would say friendly. So actually they are friendly. And I think that as soon as Brendan and Anne they joining, and people just see these two kids, and they try to help them, they feed them, maybe, yeah, they see if they are wounded, and now we have a haven. Cool, we do have a haven. I do not have a name for this haven yet, but I could just say that, okay, we have here a haven, and we just get maybe the house icon, and we have a haven. Um, Maybe for the next session I can just roll to figure out more information about this haven. We already know some stuff. I could just ask if Joey is the leader of this haven. Let me just ask by rolling again in the solo. Is Joey the leader of this haven? And the answer is 3. No, he's not. Brandon would stay here for a while. He would spend the rest of the day. He would find shelter. And what I'm going to do is I will try to create more NPCs to be Brandon's friend or colleagues, or more people to interact with him and Anne. And from here, I could roll some issues on the haven and try to figure out. But one thing before I finish this session is, Brandon would ask about his father, and I would like to. He would try to describe him, of course. He would say he left about 5 days or something like this, and he would ask, "Have you seen my father?" And the answer is yes. Um, okay, they someone, I do not know who yet, saw his father. Um, but did did they see his father in this haven or nearby? So was he in this haven? Yes, he was.